Can landlords really refuse pets? A question that often comes up in the world of rentals. Indeed, it's a topic that stirs curiosity and concern alike. Whether you're a pet parent exploring your rights or a landlord seeking clarity, understanding the laws and regulations around pets in rental properties is crucial. It's a complex issue, one that balances the freedom of tenants with the rights of property owners. To answer this, we dive into the world of rental laws and pets. Rental laws, they can be complex and vary from place to place. Now let's get into the nitty-gritty. Just as there are laws to protect tenants, there are also laws that govern landlords. These laws range from health and safety standards to anti-discrimination laws. They cover aspects like how much a landlord can charge for a deposit, when and why a tenant can be evicted, and what maintenance the landlord is responsible for. One of the key aspects of rental laws is the location. Laws can differ significantly from one state to another, from one city to another, and even from one neighborhood to another. For example, in some places, a landlord might be required to provide heat during certain months, while in others, this might not be the case. Type of property also matters. Laws governing a single-family home might be different from those for an apartment complex or a condominium. For instance, in some locations, landlords of buildings with more than a certain number of units may be required to have an on-site manager. And here's where it gets interesting. Rental laws also cover the subject of pets. Yes, that's right. Your furry, feathery, or scaly companions have a place in the legal landscape of rentals. Just as there are laws about deposits and evictions, there are also laws about pets. These laws can dictate whether a landlord can refuse pets, what types of pets are allowed, and whether there are any size or breed restrictions. They may also cover how many pets a tenant can have and what responsibilities the tenant has in terms of pet behavior and damage. So it's not just about whether your landlord likes animals or not, it's about the law. And just like any other aspect of rental laws, the specifics can vary widely based on location, type of property, and other factors. So yes, laws about pets in rentals exist, but what do they say? We'll delve into that in our next segment. Stay tuned. Let's demystify the pet policy and rental agreements. So, what is a pet policy exactly? A pet policy is a section of a rental agreement that outlines the rules and restrictions related to pets. It's like a guidebook for pet owners within the property. This policy can cover a variety of aspects such as the type and number of pets allowed, size limitations, and even certain breed restrictions. It may also address matters like pet deposits or fees and the tenant's responsibilities for pet-related damages or nuisances. Now, these policies are not just randomly put together. They are designed with the interests of both landlords and tenants in mind. For landlords, it's about maintaining the property and ensuring that all tenants enjoy a peaceful living environment. For tenants, it provides clear guidelines about pet ownership in their new home. But here's the thing. Not all pet policies are created equal. They can significantly differ from one landlord to another or from one property management company to another. Some landlords might be lenient, allowing pets of all shapes and sizes. Others might have stricter policies, permitting only small pets or certain breeds. Some might even charge additional fees or require a larger security deposit for pet owners. And then there are those landlords who choose not to have a pet policy at all. This doesn't necessarily mean they are anti-pet. It could simply mean they prefer to handle pet-related issues on a case-by-case basis. Or maybe they just haven't had the need to create one yet. So if you're a tenant with a pet or planning to get one, it's crucial to thoroughly understand the pet policy of your prospective rental. If there's no policy in place, it's a good idea to discuss this with your landlord. After all, a clear, well-understood pet policy can help prevent misunderstandings and disputes down the line. But what if your landlord does not want any pets on the property? Now, the million-dollar question: can landlords really say no to pets? The answer is, in many cases, yes. However, it's not as straightforward as a simple yes or no, and it's essential to understand the nuances involved. Landlords can generally refuse pets in their properties as a matter of discretion. This is due to the potential damage, noise, and other concerns that pets might cause. Essentially, landlords have the right to protect their property and maintain a comfortable living environment for all tenants. However, there are exceptions to this rule. For instance, in the case of service animals or emotional support animals, landlords may be legally required to accommodate these pets, regardless of their general pet policy. This is under the Fair Housing Act, which states that landlords cannot discriminate against tenants with disabilities and must make reasonable accommodations for their needs. The key term here is reasonable accommodations. This means that if a tenant has a disability and a pet that helps manage that disability, like a guide dog for a visually impaired individual, the landlord cannot refuse this pet. But remember, this does not apply to all pets. It only applies to pets that are considered necessary for a person's disability. And tenants with these pets might need to provide documentation proving the necessity of the pet for their disability. It's also worth noting that certain states have specific laws regarding pets in rental properties. Some states may have more lenient laws, allowing pets unless explicitly stated otherwise in the lease agreement. Other states may have stricter laws, granting landlords more authority to refuse pets. And finally, even within a single state, the rules can vary. Cities or counties may have their own regulations regarding pets in rental properties, so it's crucial for tenants and landlords alike to understand their local laws. And that, folks, is the legal side of pets in rentals. But what if you already have a pet and the landlord says no? That's a question that might be keeping some of you up at night. Moving is stressful enough without having to worry about finding a new home for your furry friend. So what are your options? Firstly, don't panic. There's always room for negotiation. It's possible that your landlord might be worried about potential damage or noise. If that's the case, you could propose a pet deposit, an additional security deposit that would cover any potential pet-related damage. You could also suggest a pet interview, so your landlord can meet your pet and see that they're well behaved. If negotiations don't work out, it might be time to look for pet-friendly properties. It might take a bit more time and effort, but there are landlords who welcome pets. Websites and apps dedicated to pet-friendly rentals can help you in your search. Now, what if your pet is a service or emotional support animal? In many jurisdictions, landlords are required by law to make reasonable accommodations for tenants with disabilities, which can include allowing a service or emotional support animal. This doesn't mean you can just say your pet is a support animal, though. You'll need documentation from a healthcare provider to back it up. Also, it's important to know that having a service or emotional support animal doesn't give you a free pass to ignore other rules. You'll still need to make sure your pet behaves appropriately and doesn't cause undue damage or disturbance. In all of this, communication is key. Be open and honest with your landlord about your pet. Show them that you're a responsible pet owner who will take care of any pet-related issues. And lastly, don't forget to check the local laws in your area. Some places have specific laws about pets in rental properties, and knowing these can help you navigate any potential issues. Remember, it's crucial to know your rights and responsibilities as a pet owner in a rental property. So, have we cleared up the mystery around pets and rentals? We hope that after this enlightening discussion, you now understand the ins and outs of the pet policy in the rental world. Let's do a quick recap. We've talked about the existence of pet policies. These are guidelines set by landlords that outline the conditions for keeping pets in a rental property. They can include stipulations about the type, size, and number of pets allowed, and may also mandate additional fees or deposits. Next, we delved into the circumstances under which landlords can refuse pets. We learned that landlords have the right to refuse pets in certain situations. However, this is subject to local rental laws and regulations, and there are exceptions, such as for service and emotional support animals. Then, we tackled the tricky question of what to do if you already have a pet. We learned that it's crucial to communicate openly with your landlord, understand your rights, and be prepared to negotiate or find a pet-friendly alternative if necessary. In conclusion, while the love for our furry friends is universal, the policies surrounding them in rental properties are far from it. Navigating this landscape can be challenging, but with the right knowledge and approach, it's entirely possible. Remember, knowledge is power, especially when it comes to navigating the world of rentals and pets. Stay informed and happy renting.